My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Hit subscribe right now. You definitely want to get the take of someone the Huffington Post called the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet in 2016. The Washington Post called me the unofficial scribe of Bernie's most hardcore voters, something along those lines. And I am now a Trump supporter. I'm very proud that President Trump has brought home close to 10,000 Americans from chaotic, war-torn countries. We should be bringing home Americans from war. That is a good thing. Trump should be praised for doing that. Trump should be exalted. He should be complimented for presiding over the start of peace between North and South Korea. What about prison reform? He's going to sign a prison reform, bipartisan prison reform bill. Obama didn't do these things, and he still got a Nobel Peace Prize. But peace between North and South Korea, that should have been that is a paradigm-changing moment in world history that should have been discussed and addressed, and he should have gotten credit for that. But see, any good thing that Trump does is either ignored or, in a petulant manner, denigrated. Speaking of negativity, I am leaving. Well, I've deactivated my Facebook account, and I'm leaving Twitter today. So I have like a tweet, last 23 or 24 tweets. They're hilarious. And I just tell off a whole bunch of people who I think are fake and phony, and who I'm not really fond of, and who've annoyed me. But if you want to contact me, if you want to be part of a newsletter, if you want to be informed of what I'm doing, whether it's my segments or my articles or my books, contact goodman78@gmail.com. That's what Gmail had available. I wanted something different, but it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. So you feel free to go ahead and reach me there. Mitt Romney is going to be worse than Jeff Flake. This guy is going to be just worse than Jeff Flake. Mitt Romney, a Republican from Utah, and the party's 2012 nominee for president, will be sworn into the U.S. Senate on Thursday. This is Romney in the Washington Post. Mitt Romney, the president, shapes the public character of the nation. Trump's character falls short. Let's not get into character. Let's not get into George W. Bush's character. Illegal wars, conflicts, getting us into Iraq and Afghanistan, setting the Middle East ablaze. Let's not get into Obama destroying Libya, and getting us into a whole bunch of other places where Trump is bringing home Americans. Let's not get into what? I mean, you go LBJ getting the country involved in Vietnam, JFK. We don't have to talk about his personal life, and then getting us, he was the first president? No, I guess Eisenhower. But he was one of the first people to get us into Vietnam. And what? Nixon? You want to talk about character? Nixon, Watergate was nothing. Look, Hillary Clinton transferred top-secret intelligence outside the United States government onto a server in her basement. That is probably the greatest it is the greatest cybersecurity breach in U.S. history. Imagine if Aldrich Ames and Robert Hansen had private servers. John Anthony Walker, these are all Cold War traitors, spies that gave the Soviets top-secret intel. But imagine if they had a server like Hillary Clinton. Let's not get into character. Clinton has the worst character, called Black Youth Super Predators. Used the birther myth in 2008 against Obama, and I'm against Trump doing that. Trump was wrong to do that. But let's not get into character. Of all the character, flaws, Trump has probably the best character when you want to compare what other people have done. Clinton voted for the Iraq War. She helped destroy Libya along with President Obama. Trump did not destroy a country. Tell me if Trump destroyed an African nation. No, that was Obama and Clinton. So you can use any euphemism you want, and any supremacist, enabler, sympathizer, all of these nonsensical euphemisms. George Orwell called euphemisms verbal refuse. But Mitt Romney has the audacity to say, and what I wanted to get to also is that Trump is not a bigot. Trump is not a racist. If you judge Trump by things that he said, Hillary said worse, just recently stated worse. So if you judge people by their dialogue or their rhetoric, Clinton is worse. That being said, on a side note, the Republican Party was very, very bigoted against the Mormon people, the Mormon religion. They went after Romney because he was Mormon. Trump didn't do that, and he would never do that because he doesn't care. That's the thing with Trump. He really doesn't care. There wasn't a Muslim ban. There was a ban of countries in the Middle East that were war-torn. And he got the list of countries from the Obama administration. And he left out one country that probably should have been on. But he's not Islamophobic, he's not homophobic, he's not racist, he's not a bigot. Trump is not. The Republicans are prejudiced or bigoted against the Mormon people or the Mormon religion. Romney went through in 2012. He went through negative, hurtful, disgusting statements from conservatives because of his Mormon faith. Yet Romney holds on to this just for political purposes, just hugs and holds on and tries to embrace the establishment, the same establishment that didn't really rally around him in 2012. Anyway, yeah, he was the party's nominee, but people actually didn't vote. Conservatives didn't vote at that time because he was Mormon. That being said, I just find it bizarre that he would talk about Trump's character when Trump doesn't care. And conservatives back then made bigoted statements regarding his cultural and religious background. But anyway, let me read you this. That talks about, you're talking about character, Trump's character, bringing home Americans a lot better than the character of the average establishment Republican. But the president shapes the public character of the nation. Trump's character falls short. The Trump presidency made a deep descent in December. The departures of Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and White House Chief of Staff John F. Kelly, the appointments of senior persons of lesser experience, that's your opinion, Romney, the abandonment of allies who fight beside us. What? That means we would stay in these war-torn regions forever. And the president's thoughtless claim that America has long been a sucker in the world affairs all defined his presidency down. No. Unfortunately, it's true. Unfortunately, we've made bad foreign policy decisions. Unfortunately, we've succumbed to the Max Boot, Bill Kristol, interventionist, neoconservative foreign policy. Why is that? Why is that? And I mean, just really quickly, I had to look this up. Romney, his Mormonism, a campaign issue, again, condemns religious bigotry. This is from Philip Rucker in 2011. Okay, he went through his own bigotry, not from Trump, from the same. This is Romney, his Mormonism, a campaign issue again. Why was it a campaign issue? If we're talking about morality and character, look what he went through at the hands of the conservatives he's now trying to bolster and defend. The same the never Trump conservatives are the people who went after him. The first time he ran president, the first time he ran for president, Mitt Romney chose again and again to confront the suspicions and prejudices held by many in the Republican Party's evangelical base about his Mormon faith. There you go. This is the Washington Post. It wasn't just the evangelical base. It was a lot of conservatives of all different So, I mean, this is BU, Boston University. Why we're afraid of Mormons. This is 2012. So, it's just, it's interesting that just, I mean, I know I'm making an issue of this, but the conservatives went after Mitt Romney. And he knows, and he's talking about, but Trump did not. Trump did not. Now you want to talk about the birther myth? Yeah, that's wrong. What Trump, it is wrong that Trump furthered that. But guess what? Hillary Clinton shared a photo of Obama in African attire trying to further the same birther myth in '08. Anyway, my point is that Romney, once again, I just have to make the point. He's talking about morality and character, and he is speaking on behalf of people who attacked him viciously because of his faith. That makes no sense at all, but only a political animal would act that way. Romney is a political creature, just like Clinton and all of them. He's not a criminal like Clinton, but political creatures, they don't care. They'll cozy up to their tormentors. Bernie Sanders, a political creature. That's why I focused on that so much. How dare you talk about morality and character when you're speaking on behalf of people who were your tormentors just in 2012? But the Trump presidency made a deep descent in December, the departures of Defense Secretary. So it is well known that Donald Trump was not my choice for the Republican presidential nomination. After he became the nominee, I hoped his campaign would refrain from resentment and name-calling. It did not. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mitt Romney. Name-calling? Oh. The only reason, the fifth time in 105 years, that the sitting president actually gained seats in the Senate was with Donald Trump this year. Now, I was somewhat right, although of course I was wrong on the House. But there's still a great deal of enthusiasm for Trump. And this is despite the media and turncoats like Romney and Flake and McCain and all of these, Paul Ryan and all these establishment Republicans. The Republican Party will never, ever, ever, ever again be the party that nominated George W. Bush or Mitt Romney. It'll never again be that party. It's a more populist political party. There are libertarians, there are independents, there are former Democrats, there are former Jill Stein voters, there are former Bernie Sanders voters who want Americans home from war, and that's what Trump gave them. They want prison reform, that's what Trump's giving them. They want peace between North and South Korea, that's what Trump's giving them. They want renegotiated trade deals, they want tariffs as a negotiating tool, that's what Trump is giving them. And me, and and people who watch this channel. When we won the election, I hoped he would rise to the occasion. What did you want him to become? Like suddenly Harry Truman or Eisenhower? It's his personality is one of the reasons he won. His early appointments of Rex Tillerson, Jeff Sessions, oh yeah, that's a good one. Trust Sessions, trust Romney. Nikki Haley, Gary Cohn, H.R. McMaster, grab him by the McMaster, Kelly and Mattis were encouraging. Oh really? You enjoyed them? I bet you liked Sessions a lot. I bet you trusted Sessions. Okay, but on balance, his conduct over the past 2 years, particularly his actions last month, what actions? Is evidence that the president has not risen to the mantle of the office. The mantle of the office? Oh, I long for the days when Obama tried to hide information about Fast and Furious, when we sold firearms to cartels. What a wonderful time that was. When Eric Holder, the Attorney General, the first Attorney General ever to be held in contempt of Congress. Oh my God. What a beautiful time. I long for that time. Oh, a failed NATO intervention in Libya turned it into a failed state, destroyed a country under Obama and Clinton. Oh, what a time. What a great moment in bailing out banks. So courageous. Started under Bush, then with Obama. Obama going after journalists, using the Espionage Act more than any other president combined against whistleblowers and journalists. Oh, what a great time it was. It was such a wonderful time. I'm tearing up with joy, with nostalgia, tears of nostalgia. You always have to wonder, though, of the people that funnel, if you're on the left, progressive outrage back into the Democratic Party. I called them out on my series of tweets today. I will. I haven't tweeted it out yet, but check my Twitter page. But on the it is not that all of the president's policies have been misguided. He was right to align U.S. corporate taxes with those of global competitors, to strip out excessive regulations, to crack down on China's unfair trade practices, to reform criminal justice, and appoint conservative judges. Well, what the heck are you upset about, Romney? What the heck do you want from the guy? You don't like his personality. These are policies mainstream Republicans have promoted for years. Yeah, and you wouldn't have gotten them. You would not have gotten them. You would not have, and I'm a Second Amendment advocate now, you would not have gotten a more conservative, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. But policies and appointments are only part of the presidency. Really? To a great degree, a president shapes the public character of the nation. Really, what was Bill Clinton doing in the Oval Office? How was Nixon conducting foreign affairs? Forget Watergate. Watergate was like nothing. What Nixon should be judged on is his conduct in Vietnam and what he, Christopher Hitchens has a whole book on Kissinger and 1968 and the Paris peace talks, all that stuff. But anyway, a president should unite us and inspire us to follow our better angels. Oh, Obama, help me follow my better angel and fly away into happiness and joy. A president should demonstrate the essential qualities of honesty and integrity and elevate the national discourse with comity and mutual respect. As a nation, we have been blessed with presidents who have called on greatness of the American spirit. Yes, like when Bill Clinton was getting you-know-what in the Oval Office. With the nation, well, something rose then, I guess. With the nation so divided, resentful, and angry. No, it's a temper tantrum from media. It's a temper tantrum from liberals and media who can't stand. They lost, so they're going to it's just like, it's like, you're in a car ride with people who don't want to go to a certain location, and they're going to complain the whole time. Make your life miserable. And then when you get there, like, can we go now? Can we go now? Can we go now? I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about actual adults. I've known adults, the car ride. I've known adults who, if they don't like something, they'll make your life miserable until, like, it could be a whole, event, wedding. They just, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. With a nation so divided, resentful, and angry, no, they fabricated a Trump-Russia hoax. It was a myth. It's so stupid and absurd. All of these things. Presidential leadership and quality of character is indispensable. Indispensable! And it is in the province where the incumbent shortfall has been most glaring. So that he actually likes most of his policies, but he really hates his personality. And, oh my God, we have to go back to an establishment guy. The world is also watching. Yeah, you know who's watching? Gilets jaunes. A gilet jaune. A gilet jaune. The yellow vests in France as they protest Macron for the 20th straight week. Wow, what a great forward thinker. Then you have Trudeau with people kind. Trump is like the only normal one left. The world is also watching. America has long been looked to for leadership. Not really. Yes, and our economic and military strength was part of that, of course, but our enduring commitment to principled conduct in foreign relations? Really? Iran-Contra? Vietnam? Iraq? Libya? Afghanistan? This was principled? And to the rights of all people to freedom and equal justice was even more esteemed. This is a word salad of nauseating refuse. Garbage. Trump's words and actions have caused dismay around the world. Woo! In a 2016 Pew presidential poll, 84% of people in Germany, Britain, France, Canada, and Sweden believed the American president would do the right thing in world affairs. 1 year later, that number had fallen to 16%. Yeah, why? Because the media around the world has condemned Trump for everything. Even good things. Even good things. These polls are nonsense, but anyway. This comes at a very unfortunate time. Several allies in Europe are experiencing political upheaval. Yeah, because their politicians are too much like you, Romney. That's why. Several former Soviet satellite states are rethinking their commitment to democracy. Some Asian nations, such as the Philippines, lean increasingly towards China, which advances to rival our economy and our military. The alternative to U.S. world leadership offered by China and Russia is autocratic, corrupt, and brutal. They don't have the money to lead the world in anything. So, the world needs American leadership. What, like Iraq, Afghanistan? What, like George Bush provided leadership? And it is in America's interest to provide it. A world led by authoritarian regimes is a world and an America with less prosperity, less freedom, less peace. This is like, you're speaking to like fifth graders who, like, if I don't even want to, insult fifth graders. You're speaking to public relations executives, I should say, who want to simply manipulate people who already hate Trump on the left and who, in their warped, twisted minds, long for, an establishment Republican because they just hate Trump's personality. They don't really hate his policies. They hate Trump's personality. And then they fall back on oh my God, he doesn't believe in climate change. Meanwhile, Obama presided over the largest expansion of oil and gas production of any president in history. Oh my God, he's horrible to immigrants. Obama deported 2.5 million immigrants. To reassume our leadership in world politics, we must repair failings in our political politics at home. Yeah, don't cheat Bernie Sanders and blame Russia for losing. How about that? That project begins, of course, with the highest office once again acting to inspire and unite us. None of these presidents he's referring to united the country. It concludes political parties promoting policies that strengthen us rather than promote tribalism by exploiting fear and resentment. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The tribalism that existed even before the actual election was dangerous, despicable, and it was promoted by people like David Brock, who spent $1 million on trolls to attack people like me, I was on the left at that point. Our leaders must defend our vital institutions despite their inevitable failings: a free press, the rule of law, churches and responsible corporations and unions. We must repair our fiscal foundation. Okay, so here. I remain optimistic about our future. In an innovation age, Americans excel. Okay, yada. In government, who raise our sights and respect the dignity of every child of God. Oh, the ideal that is the essence of America. Oh, I weep for the beauty of this amazing article. Romney is a turncoat traitor, typical political creature, and he will try to undermine Trump at every corner, every turn. He believes that because MSNBC, CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times all hate Trump, and they love people like Jeff Flake, that that the establishment Republican Party will rise like a phoenix and jettison Trump and his mean tweets and never again have a populist or a person who communicates with people. Look, when Trump goes to, part of the reason that Republicans lost the House, part of the reason, is because Trump wasn't on the ballot. And he's not going to have a problem winning in 2020. Hopefully, if he doesn't fight back, like in terms of a special counsel against Clinton, or exposing the corruption of the Mueller probe, the unethical, the illegal behavior of Strzok and Comey and McCabe in setting him up, he's going to have a hard time in 2020, but I still think he'll win. The Democratic nominee is not going to have crowds cheering and filled auditoriums and stadiums like Trump in Pennsylvania and Michigan, Ohio, and Florida. I think that Trump can win those states. Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe that might go Democrat. But if he wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, and Florida, he'll have enough to win. I think he's popular in those states. And, the whole, North Carolina, they're still doing it. North Carolina might go, no. Arizona might go, no. There was a recount, Sinema barely won, and you have to understand, it's really interesting how Democrats just pulled out a whole bunch of victories, a week, 2 weeks after the election. Okay, this is they barely won, and Beto O'Rourke, you talk about Beto O'Rourke, $78 million to $45 million, almost 2-1. Just like Clinton, 2-1, she still lost. And then they blamed Russia for influencing the democracy. The Democratic Party speaks to Americans like we're brain dead. And unfortunately, people on the left, many of them are. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Romney goes after Trump and just shows who he is. It actually shows his lack of character in this nonsense in the Washington Post. Hit subscribe. Check out my Twitter feed today. Be my last tweets. I'm deactivating the account later today. Thank you so very, very much. If you want to contact me or be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Thank you.